Welcome to the best of high school sports in Northern California. We are the B Prep Show.
And we're coming to you from rowdy and raucous Bonney Field in Sacramento, home of some championship soccer.
Welcome back for another edition of the B Prep Show. I'm Mike Finnerty, joined as always by my co-host Joe Davidson, the Sacramento Bee, and we are coming to you from Bonney Field here in Sacramento.
This is where the FC Republic Sacramento soccer team won a championship, and a lot of high school players throughout the region attended these games. They're always sold out, and they said, wouldn't it be great to play a game here? It's happened here for Davis of Yolo County, Jesuit of Carmichael, two of the Sac Joaquin section superpowers. They're our Les Schwab game of the week.
Yes, Joe, we have not just soccer, though. As always, football, girls volleyball, rankings, big picture look at this week's high school football games. Plenty to watch. Stick around, but we are going to start off with our Les Schwab game of the week. It's Jesuit taking on Davis. We go to Bonney Field at Cal Expo on a beautiful night for soccer where the B1 ranked Jesuit Marauders were taking on their longtime rival, the number 4 Davis Blue Devils. A huge crowd on hand to see this one. Teams are ready, coaches are ready, so let's get right to it. And scoring first was Jesuit. This goal by Diego Bues-Rostro puts the Marauders on top at 1-0 at the 15th minute. Later in the half, some missed opportunities for Jesuit. This goal here by Graham Honig's not going to count. Offsides. Moments later, same thing. Daniel Roberts puts it in for the score, but it too will be waved off. So we're going to head to the half with Jesuit holding a 1-0 advantage. Second half now, 8 minutes in, when Jesuit is called for the takedown, and that's going to set up this penalty kick for UCLA commit DJ Villegas, and he finds the left side of the net, and that ties the game at 1-1, and no doubt about it, Villegas and his guys like that. Jesuit continued to have some missed opportunities. These coming in the second half, just couldn't get anything to go, but that would change at the 60th minute when sophomore Lucas Churchill, he gets it done. He finds the back of the net. That goal puts Jesuit back on top at 2-1, and for the final 20 minutes, Jesuit fend off Davis to get the win. Marauders win their 8th in a row, improved to 16-1-1 on the season, and after the match, we got their thoughts on the big win.
10 months of work to get this done, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. The experience these guys have playing on the field like this, it's just really, really special. So, I'm really happy for the guys. I'm proud of our guys. I'm proud of Davis's team. You can't be great without rivalries, and it makes them great. It makes us great. Two great teams.
Well, last year we beat Davis 1-0 at Capital Christian, and I blocked his PK. He went to the left, but I was foolish enough to think that a good player like DJ is going to go the same way 2 years in a row, but he got me this time.
Yeah, I'm so happy to get that goal, especially at Bonney Field. How many high school teams get to play out here against a good opponent? Come on. It's just great.
We stay with soccer for a key matchup in the Sierra Valley Conference between the Cordova Lancers and the Liberty Ranch Hawks. This one taking place at Walter Park in Galt. To the action we go. Game scoreless late in the half. Liberty Ranch with the ball when Rolando Sandoval delivers from the right side. That's a goal, and it comes at the 39th minute to give the Hawks a 1-0 lead, a score that would hold until halftime. Second half now, still a battle, but Liberty Ranch strikes again. This with Adrian Sierra making a 2-0 game at the 76th minute. And that would do it as Liberty Ranch tops B number 17 Cordova 2-0. And with the win, Liberty Ranch moves into a tie for first with crosstown rival Galt, both 4-0, and both will meet up this week.
All right, Mike, good stuff as always. If you want more soccer, here you go. Here's the Sacramento Bee Top 20, and stick around. We've got a lot of football, the other football, previews, highlights, insight, good stuff coming up.
This is your RAM Auto Update.
Just in, the classic term used car is old-fashioned, outdated, and no longer of any particular relevance. Let's party. The Roseville Auto Mall is throwing a massive factory-certified pre-owned sales event. That means incredible savings on just about every kind of car in the world. All factory certified. It's happening now. It's going fast. In layman terms, skedaddle. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
We want to thank our title sponsor, Save Mart Supermarkets. Shop Save Mart up and down the Central Valley.
Welcome back to the Bee Prep Show, as we bring you the very best of high school sports in the Sacramento region. A lot of soccer in the first segment. We got football right and left the rest of the way. You're going to learn about some of the teams. We got some highlights, previews, insight, commentary. It never gets boring. You were in a good game down in Elk Grove last week.
Well, the Capital Valley Conference had the Del Campo Cougars in Elk Grove to take on the Cosumnes Oaks Wolfpack. Cosumnes Oaks playing well, and they showed it Friday night. We take you to Cosumnes Oaks High School in Elk Grove for a Capital Valley Conference showdown where the host Wolfpack were taking on the Del Campo Cougars. Both teams 2-0 in league play, looking to keep pace with Antelope. Action right away in the opening kickoff when Marcus Harmon of Cosumnes Oaks forces the fumble. It's recovered by Cosumnes Oaks at the Del Campo 21-yard line. The very next play, Cosumnes Oaks quarterback Jerron Stallworth finds Keone Stallworth in the end zone. That's a touchdown and a 7-0 Wolfpack lead. On Cosumnes Oaks' next possession, it's Stallworth to the air again, this time to Visal Williams for a 35-yard score. It's now a 14-0 game. Second quarter now, Stallworth looking deep, and he's going to find a wide-open Eric Tolles Jr. That goes for 32 yards, and it's now a 3-touchdown advantage for the Wolfpack. Before the half, Harmon gets the call on the ground, and he finds a wide-open hole. He's off to the races. This goes for 80 yards as Cosumnes Oaks takes this one 35-7. With Antelope's loss to Roseville, Cosumnes Oaks takes over first place in the CVC. We stay in Elk Grove and head over to Monterey Trail High School where the 5-0 Mustangs are playing host to the 3-2 Franklin Wildcats in a full moon out on a nice fall night. We're going to pick it up late in the first half. Franklin up 13-0 when Monterey Trail quarterback EJ Villacrucis, he's going to roll left, but he is picked off by Drew Andrews. He is gone 79 yards down the sidelines for the final play of the half, and that'll put Franklin up 20-0 at the break. Third quarter now, Monterey Trail gets on the board with this Trey Naha short yardage score, but it's just too much Franklin on this night. The Wildcats get a field goal from Cardo Ballesteros, and then late in the game, it's Jacob Lopez connecting with Bryce Abshire for another touchdown. Franklin wins it 30-8 as both teams remain in the thick of things in a very tough Delta League.
All right, Mike, how about if we head down to Santa Clara, Levi Stadium, thanks to our good friends from Fox 40 in Sacramento, the final quarter every Friday night at 11 p.m. Levi Stadium hosted the Jesuit Marauders and Elk Grove Thunder and Herd. These are two teams that are in the discussion for the Delta League Championship, also Sac Joaquin Section Championship. Great atmosphere, great venue. But when you talk about Jesuit, they got some playmakers, none bigger than number 35, Bo Bisharat.
He's a big one, and he is a power runner. He is one of the keys for that offense, Joe. He had 179 yards rushing against Elk Grove, 2 touchdowns. But perhaps, and not a surprise, but the guy that just had a terrific game was Cole Brownholz, their quarterback, and you're going to need both those guys to go deep.
Well, and Cole Brownholz is an example of perseverance. He was a reserve last year. He's earned his time. He's really been a good, steady playmaker. He's got some good targets to throw to. He's got Isaiah Bailey, and very balanced team. This is a team that really could make a run, looking at Grant in Week 10 maybe for the league championship.
Yeah, and Elk Grove can't, I'm sure they're disappointed, but that's still a tough game, and they've still got more games to go in this league. Let's head out to Placer County, Joe. A big game in the Capital Valley League. Roseville taking on Antelope, and Roseville gets a big win.
I think Roseville, under Coach Larry Cunha, is well prepared. 27-25 win, and you've got Adam Bassana, big tight end, and Jimmy Jagers. This is a team that's been snake bit. Roseville, they finally reversed the fortunes there. Montel Aaron, very impressive quarterback for Antelope, was hospitalized with a concussion. He's okay, thank goodness. Mr. Harrell also hospitalized with a bad ankle. He's okay. Injuries are big, and we're going to talk about a couple of big ones here in this program as well.
All right, let's wrap up these Fox 40 highlights. We've got Del Oro taking on Rockland. What a game this was. I think it's everything we expected it would be. But the story of that game is Max O'Rourke going out with a broken hip, as we find out. Talk a little bit more about that. You've got some insight.
Yeah, and Max O'Rourke, as you know and I know, is a B Player of the Year candidate. He's just a terrific leader. He's a scholar. Broke his femur up there by the hip area and was hospitalized. He is so gutty. He convinced the paramedic, let me watch the rest of the game. I want to watch my man, William Floyd, win this game 18-15 with a late touchdown pass to beat rival Del Oro. Max O'Rourke had a story in the Sacramento Bee, is going to be okay. He's got pretty good spirit. They found a tumor in the hip area, which is probably why the leg broke. So maybe a good break amid all of this concern. And you know what he's talking about? I want a cane. I want a real slick walking cane so I could get back into the groove. So I love his spirit and energy. And later on, Mike, we're going to talk about another football player who had a bad leg break last year, came all the way back, so you can come back.
Yeah, you can come back. The gentleman that we're going to talk about later did just that. All right, Joe, we've got our top 20 Sacramento Bee rankings, and we say this every week. Folsom's still at the top. But what do you got to shake out in this week? Anything different?
I'm looking at Intercom. Now in number 6, the Intercom Tigers in the Thomas area, a very dangerous team. We're going to preview their game coming up in the last segment against River Valley, which is also in the rankings out of Yuba City. Intercom is dangerous and fast and ready to go.
Yes, they are a team to watch, and we're going to be watching out for them. All right, Joe, we got a whole lot more left in the show. We're only halfway through. Coming up, we've got girls volleyball. We get out to Grass Valley to catch up with the Bear River Bruins football team. Later on the show, I'll introduce you to a St. Francis volleyball player who is a definition of perseverance.
There's a history you feel when you visit any of the Von Hausen automotive dealerships. You'll sense the quality of Mercedes-Benz, and you'll experience the low-pressure atmosphere that comes from 2 generations of family ownership. Mercedes-Benz of Sacramento, Mercedes-Benz of El Dorado Hills, and Mercedes-Benz of Rockland. 3 great reasons to drive one of the world's best automobiles. Come feel the difference or visit vonhausen.com.
I'd like to thank our sponsors, starting with Save Mart Supermarkets, where fresh comes first. Shop at Save Mart up and down the Central Valley. Schools Financial Credit Union, banking for everyone, value, convenience, and emerging technology. Von Hausen Automotive Group, celebrating 50 years with Mercedes-Benz. Stop dreaming and start driving. Roseville Auto Mall. If you're looking for a used car, go to the Roseville Auto Mall with over 6,000 vehicles to choose from. And Les Schwab Tires. Since 1952, we promise we'll get you more for your money.
Welcome back to the Bee Prep Shows. We bring you the very best high school sports in the greater Sacramento region. We're here at Bonney Field. We got to see a terrific soccer match, and we talked about that in the first segment. A lot of football to come, including more commentary. Talked to a player who overcame a horrible leg break last year, and we'll preview some of the best games. But volleyball is always percolating in the Sac Joaquin section.
It is, Joe. It's getting interesting now. We're a little bit past the midway mark. League games are heating up, and a team that's been playing very well are the Granite Bay Grizzlies. A big-time Sierra Foothill League showdown in El Dorado Hills. The B number 6 ranked Granite Bay Grizzlies on the road to score off against the number 2 Oak Ridge Trojans. First set, it's Granite Bay's Bridget Bell putting her Grizzlies up 12-5. A short time later, Amanda Prather's going to set up Brooke Hirschberger, who makes it a 21-13 game. And closing it out is Bell with this block at the net. Granite Bay takes it 25-15. Second set now, it was a battle as well. Marissa Eves with a tap at the net puts the Trojans up early at 7-5. But late in the set, Hirschberger comes up big with several key hits. This getting Granite Bay to a one at 24-17. And then Hirschberger again at the net. That's your 25-22 game winner for a 2-0 lead in the match. Time to put this thing away, and that's just what Granite Bay does. It doesn't come easy though, but in the end, Granite Bay takes the third set 25-21, gets the sweep, and now they sit atop the SFL standings all alone at 6-0 heading into this week. Another monster league in the Sacramento area is the Capital Valley Conference, and 2 of the best in this league, the Oakmont Vikings and the Roseville Tigers, met up for an all-Roseville, old-school crosstown showdown. We're going to pick it up in the third set. Match all tied at 1 apiece when Oakmont's Abby Downs gets the kill here to put her Vikings up 15-7. How about this talented combo? Allie Wubin, she's going to set up Kyra Rogers. You just can't stop that. Vikings in command, up by 9, and would coast to a 25-13 Game 3 win to go up 2-1 in the match. Late in the fourth set now, Rogers with an impressive block from the net to put Oakmont up 23-22. Here's one of the area's best, Abby Jensen of Roseville. She's going to tie it at 23-all. Here's Rogers, cross-court to Kalala Strickland. That'll put Oakmont up by 1. And then to close it out, it's Haley Muggleston. She's going to get it done at the net. 26-24 Oakmont. Vikings take the match 3-1 and remain atop the CVC standings at 8-0.
All right, Mike, we're always impressed with the tenacity and skill of volleyball here. What are some of the thoughts that you have going forward as we start wrapping up league races?
Well, we saw Granite Bay in this week's show, and they are just on a roll right now, Joe. They're at the top of the SFL Sierra Foothill League standings. And Oak Ridge, they had two tough losses this past week to Granite Bay and Rockland, both very good teams, but they were undefeated heading into last week. And a team, again, this is playing super well, is Oakmont. They too are undefeated in the Capital Valley League standings, and we're going to have a great race as this winds down.
Yeah, and wait till the section playoffs. The Sac-Joaquin section finals at UC Davis, terrific energy there.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go back to football, Joe. Had a chance to get up to Grass Valley and meet the Bear River Bruins. You made your way up there a few weeks back and talked to head coach Terry Logue. I did the same thing as well. Caught up with Coach Logue as well as Scott Savoy, met some of the players, and just talked about the program and their history and Coach Logue's 200th win.
And, and his co-coach, Scott Savoy, they've done a great job up there. It's one of the smallest enrollment teams around, 700 or so students. It's the smallest since they opened in 1988, but you know what? They still win. Every year, this is an example of the flavor of the players and the coaches and what makes them champions.
The Bear River Bruins football team is 5-1 so far this season and in the hunt for their first league title since 2005. A powerhouse program back in the 1990s. Toughness, grit, and tradition have never left this small school in Grass Valley.
It's what we got down here. I mean, we're all right at basketball, we're all right at baseball, but football is kind of what we do down here. We're kind of just tough kids and like to hit people. It's kind of how we're raised. It's where we go down here.
When talking about what makes this year's Bruins team so unique, the reasons are many.
We really love their attitude, desire, work ethic, and we actually have some pretty good athletes. For first time in a while, we've had some pretty good athletes with pretty good speed.
We definitely have some kids that can play, but what I really like about this group is that they don't give up. As far as the camaraderie, I think the juniors and the seniors have meshed really well.
We have a lot of players that played up in juniors, so all the juniors right now, we're all really tight. We're a tight team. We all play well together, and I feel like we have pretty good chances this year.
Terry Logue has been the team's head coach since 1987, and 10 years ago, Logue was joined by co-head coach Scott Savoy. Recently, Logue recorded his 200th win, an exclusive club that includes just 5 other Sacramento area head coaches, a proud moment for Logue and his program.
Well, I got to admit, it was very special. Felt great after the game, and as you get closer and closer, and I knew I wasn't going to make it last year, and I knew with a little luck we'd make it this year. Together we won 143 of those games, either as an assistant coach or co-head coaches. So Scott's been with me the whole way almost.
So for Bear River to capture a Pioneer Valley League title, they'll need to get by some familiar foes and longtime rivals in Colfax, Placer, and Lincoln.
Well, we like our chances because we know all those teams, but that's the other thing. We do know those teams. We know that they're very good. We know that the PVL is always tough because, like, the winner of the PVL usually goes on pretty far. And
no matter what season it is, the expectations for Bear River football always remain the same.
That's always our expectation, is to win league. It's a big thing. Like, Placer's a very good football team. Colfax is a very good football team. And it's gonna be a battle out there, but we feel like we have pretty good chances. But then again, that's how all the other teams feel. So
great stuff, Mike. They appreciate and love their football and their community there. And Terry Logue is the ultimate champion. I've known him for years. He calls me Super Joe. I call him Super Coach. He's a 200-game winner. He's battled Parkinson's disease. He's a real champion. It's just, I'm inspired by guys like that.
Yeah, it was fun to catch up with him. It's always fun to get up to Bear River. Great football tradition in Grass Valley. All right, Joe, we got more in this show. We're going to catch up with St. Francis volleyball player Candice Reynoso. The definition of perseverance. We'll tell her story, and we're going to preview the upcoming games this Friday in high school football.
A credit union is a not-for-profit member-owned financial institution. Can your bank say that? Demand more from your financial institution. Make the switch to Schools Financial Credit Union for low loan rates, state-of-the-art technology, making accounts accessible anytime, anywhere, and more ATMs than most major banks. Anyone who lives, works, or worships in Sacramento and its surrounding counties is eligible to join. Be part of the credit union difference and bank happily ever after with Schools.
We want to thank our title sponsor, Save Mart Supermarkets. Shop Save Mart up and down the Central Valley. This week's Von Hausen Stars of the Week are Colin Brownholtz of Jesuit and Macy Hayden of Whitney. Brownholtz, a 6'2", 190-pound senior quarterback for the Marauders, had his best game as a starting quarterback, and it came in a 42-38 win over Elk Grove, where Brownholtz threw for 280 yards on 14 of 28 passing and 3 touchdowns. As for Hayden, the 6-foot sophomore and outside hitter for the Wildcats, had another impressive week, highlighted by Whitney's win over Bella Vista. In 2 key league matches, Hayden averaged 18 kills, 2 aces, 5 digs, and a block.
Now we're going to introduce you to an athlete who is the very definition of guts and perseverance and pride and drive. Every year a championship coach like Lynn Wright over at St. Francis Volleyball, the toughest job is making cuts. And here's a player that she cut year after year after year. She couldn't cut her this year as a senior. You get to meet her.
The old proverb, at first you don't succeed, try again, is oftentimes easier said than done. In the case of St. Francis senior Candice Reynoso, that try again approach paid off. Reynoso wanted nothing more than to be a member of the St. Francis Troubadours volleyball team, the area's premier powerhouse program over the past 2 decades. Reynoso tried out for the program and was cut her freshman, sophomore, and junior years. However, Reynoso's persistence finally paid off when she got the news she had been waiting to hear since her freshman year.
When I first found out about the news, I started tearing up because I couldn't believe that it was actually happening to me. So it was a great shock, but also filled with excitement, and I felt like all those years of hard work finally paid off, and it was really rewarding.
St. Francis head coach Lynn Wright, who was inducted into the Sac Joaquin Section Hall of Fame this past summer, is now in her 26th year with the program, and Wright says Reynoso's persistence is something she has never seen in all her years as a Troubadour.
Not 3 times in a row. With her determination and that persistence, she's going to do well in life. It's going to carry her a long ways.
Reynoso's had just one mindset: she wasn't about to give up.
Yes, my goal from the get-go was to show that I didn't take no for an answer, and that I wanted to prove that I had what it took to be on this team.
The 2014 season has just passed the midway mark, and Reynoso is living out her dream. So what's it been like so far?
It's really good. I love being in this type of environment. It's so competitive being on this team. It's so much hard work, but that's what we're here for. This is why we love this sport. We love playing volleyball because it's so challenging. And we love coming to practice because that's how we get better. And season, during games, we're all there for each other. We're all supporting, going after each other. As you can hear, we're always loud and trying to be as that team, that one to beat.
Reynoso appreciates the support of her teammates, and the experience has been everything she had hoped for.
Honestly, we're like sisters right now. We kid around with each other. We go after each other on the court. We taunt each other. But all in all, we support and we treat each other equally, and we motivate, and we have this higher standards thing going on, and it's what's keeping us on our game right now.
You know what? Candice has earned it, and she's a champion in every regard there. All right, let's talk about some high school football games as they talk championships.
Grant, Monterey Trail. Got a chance to see Monterey Trail a few times this year as Grant. And I think power running game, this is their year. They got it all going. It's going to be a tough game for Monterey Trail. Both teams very similar, like to run the ball.
Yeah, and Monterey Trail will run with Trey Nahas, who's been terrific, had 170 yards last week against Franklin. Yeah, it's run versus run.
All right, we're going to finish up with one more game. We're going to go out the Sierra Foothill League. Oak Ridge at Del Oro. You talk about 2 teams, Joe, that need a win. These 2 are quality teams, but they got to win because they've suffered some tough losses.
Oh, coaches have been around a long time. Eric Cavalier of Oak Ridge, Casey Taylor of Del Oro. The Black Hole is as good as it gets up there in Del Oro. This is a great win. This will be a playoff atmosphere because the loser may be out of the race.
Which is hard to imagine when you're talking about those 2 teams. All right, Joe, another packed show it was. It was good to talk to everyone once again. Joe, if you missed the show on TV, where do they go?
SacB.com. We've got news, notes, photo galleries, video clips, past episodes of this show on SacB.com each and every day because we understand and appreciate the value of high school sports.
Folks, thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.